Today we're going to explore molding and casting. This is a process used by medical professionals, special effects professionals, and movies. It's even used in golf. So let's learn about what it is and then we're going to do it. Okay, first let's talk about molding and casting, what they are and what the difference is between each one. A mold is a hollow container that you can pour liquid materials into and form it into a specific shape. One really common place that you might have seen a mold is in the kitchen. When you're making a cake, for example, the pan that you pour the cake batter into is a mold that will help shape the cake. Once the cake is baked, you pop it out of the pan, and it will continue to hold the shape of the pan, or the mold, because the cake is a cast of that pan. A cast is an exact replica of an object created using a mold and some kind of liquid material. So the mold is the container, and the cast is the exact replica that you take out of the container. The mold, it holds. The cast comes last. Can you think of any other molds or casts that you've seen before in your life? If you've ever used a waffle iron, the waffle iron itself is a mold. When the waffle is done and you take it out, it's now a replica of the waffle iron. So that means the waffle itself is a cast. Most of the golf clubs in your bag were made using a casting process. How does that work? Well, first, the golf club is designed on a computer using sophisticated software. The computer design is then used to create a mold. Now the mold is an inverse, so that's a mirror image of the club head. And once the mold is perfectly made, molten iron is poured into it. The molten iron then cools off and hardens. And next, some skilled workers come along and they paint on the logos and the score lines. Some other ways that molds and casts are used are by special effects creators in movies. Artists use molds and casts. The US Mint uses molds and casts to make coins. And medical experts use them to make life-saving equipment. So today we're going to make our own molds and casts, and we're going to use tape to make it happen. Tape and saran wrap. So let's see. Here is a baseball, and then this is a cast of the baseball that's made out of tape. So let me show you how we can do this process, and we'll think about some things that you can do it too, so you can make exact replicas of those things. All you really need are these three things: clear cling wrap or saran wrap, scissors, and then packing tape. It can be a color, clear is better, but if it's like brown or something, it'll still work. Step one is to decide what it is you're going to make a cast of. So this is going to be my mold here. I'm going to do this banana, then I'll do a couple of other things, but this should be easy. Whatever you decide, you're eventually going to have to take scissors and cut very closely to it. So if it's something that can be damaged by scissors, you might want to reconsider. Yes, it is possible to make a cast of a body part, like your foot or something like that, but if you decide to do that, you absolutely must use safety scissors so that you do not cut anybody's skin. If you just have regular scissors, it's not going to work. You could hurt somebody. So make sure you have safety scissors. If you're not sure that you have safety scissors, that probably means you don't, and you shouldn't do it on a body part. And if you do decide to do it on a body part and you have the safety scissors, make sure an adult is present to supervise too, just in case anything goes wrong. I think your safest bet is to just do it on a toy or a piece of sports equipment or something like that. All right, once you have your object, you're gonna wrap it all up in cellophane. And you wanna cover every part of it in cellophane. Cellophane will protect the item from the tape so the tape doesn't just stick to it and is impossible to come off. So wrap it around there. Try to get as close to the object as you can, as tight around it as you can. And if you end up having extra left over, you can cut that off, because you don't want that to ruin your cast. All right, I have some wrinkles here. I'm going to try to straighten those out. Once it's all wrapped up in cellophane, go ahead and take your tape, and you're just going to start wrapping your tape around it, and you're going to cover every inch, every centimeter. Make sure you get the bottom, the top, every part of it, and don't leave any gaps between your tape. You can wrap around it a few times, it won't hurt. If once doesn't feel like enough, you can go around it twice or 3 times. You may have to get an extra piece of tape to cover up some of the corners or the bottoms. That's fine, as long as it all is taped together like one piece. And make sure you smush it down around the narrow areas like that. Now it's time to take it off. So this part, you want to create a slit. You want to make a slit, and then the thinner the better. Just enough to get the object out. You don't want to go too big. So start small. If it's not working, make it a little bit bigger. But yeah, create a slit. And this is a part where your scissors might hurt your object if you go inside too far. Can I get it out yet? Okay, I got it. Now you see the slit here, we can fix that. So we're just gonna close it back up and cover that slit with some tape to close the gap and tape it up. There we go. I made a cast of my banana. Look at that, exact replica. So that's the process for it. I'm gonna do a couple more things to show you. You can get started on your own. I'll just keep going here and you can look back for advice if you need to. Here's a wood carving of a cat. I'm gonna try this. Well, it's not an exact replica, but it came pretty close. I'm happy with that. There's a banana, a baseball, and a cat. So try it at home. Make sure you put the cellophane down. That'll keep the tape from sticking to the object itself. It'll protect that from the tape. And then try to get into every nook and cranny and corner with your tape as you can, so it'll come out the closest to an exact replica as possible. I recommend doing like a toy or a sports equipment piece or a water bottle or something like that you can easily get this stuff around and try it out, at least for test number one. Then if you want to go more complicated after that, totally up to you. So have fun with your molding and casting, make a tape cast of your object, and show me how you do.